Hello everybody and welcome back to another video where today I'm doing something a little bit differently. I'm going to be talking about Monster Hunter Wilds, my favorite game franchise that's new, you know? Like obviously my favorite franchise is most likely going to be Half-Life 2 or the Portal franchise, which are basically the same but like different gameplay. Um, but you know what I mean. I am here today to talk about Monster Hunter Wilds and what I'd like to see and what I'm pretty sure is going to be in the game. I know I'm a little bit late to this by like 4 or 5 months, but it's fine. So first off, I'd like to talk about elder dragons affecting the environment in different ways, like we see in the trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds, a giant dust storm, which leads into an electrical storm, which I'm pretty sure the lightning is caused by the friction of the sand in the air, but whatever. Not talking about that. I'm talking about Elder Dragons specifically having a much larger effect on the environment than in World. Now, what I'm talking about is like Teostra will light things on fire, light the entire environment on fire while it's there in the environment, obviously, and the surrounding area. How far that's gonna reach, I'm not entirely sure. But it would be really cool to see. And like Teostra fire makes sense, right? Alright, next thing that I'd like to talk about is the actual hunting grounds that we're gonna be in. We know that it's gonna be a lot larger than in previous games, and probably gonna be a lot larger than Monster Hunter Rise maps. But the question is, will it be open world or just really, really big maps? I would like for it to be an open world game, but also knowing how Monster Hunter works, I'm 99.999% sure it's going to be just really, really big maps that you can see the other maps from. Uh, so yeah, I'd love for it to be an open world, but also how Monster Hunter works is pretty set in stone and you can't really change it unless they throw everything that we know about hunting the actual monster out the window, um and just replace it with something different. I mean, I know of a way that they could possibly do it where like you find the monster and you just have a certain amount of time to kill it until it runs away and like disappears or something, which would be cool. And if they do an open world game with this, that's how I think it would be ran. Next up that I would like to talk about is the amount of endemic life is going to be in it. Like small monsters and monsters that don't really interact with the map that much, and like with the life that you can capture in Monster Hunter World. I'm 90% sure that it would be a lot more than that, just from the trailer alone, and how many pangolin? The roly-poly looking things with the giant spikes out of the backs. Um, with how many of those there are, and how many other small monsters we see, it would be really cool. Also, while I'm on the topic of the endemic life, those and the pangolins, those bear things that attacked the hunter at the beginning look a lot like Gos Harag. So I'm pretty sure it'll be like a desert variation of it, but we'll get into that later. Next up, different types of weapons. Now, I know that there are currently 15 or 16 weapons. I'm not 14, 15, 14 or 16. It's in the teens. But I'm pretty sure that it will be not pretty sure, but like I'd not be surprised if they'd have different types of each weapon. Like the greatsword that we see in the trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds is a faster and less committed greatsword, and like there will be larger ones in like different trees that will have different fighting styles. Basically, what I'm saying is like it'll be a bow gun, but for every weapon. And not like you can mod every single bow gun, every single weapon to have like your specific style of fighting. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about different trees that have different combos and things like that. That would be awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably use a lot more weapons than just the great sword, the hammer, the katana, and the charge blade. I'd probably use a lot more weapons. Next, we have the setting slash time period. Obviously, it's going to be set most likely in the New World. I really hope it's set in the New World because there's a lot in the New World that we haven't seen yet. And it would play into the like world sequel basically, but I would be okay if it's not set in the old world and we'd be able to see like the old world. I'd like for it to be set in the old world as well so I can personally go back and relive, not really relive, but go back and see the old world in a new style because like I have a 3DS right here and I use it to play Monster Hunter Tri and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. But and like I have Monster Hunter Generations on the Switch and I've been playing Monster Hunter Frontier. All of which are great games, 100%, like beautiful games. Not really beautiful, but like really good games. But I'd also like to see all of those locations in a revamped style, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be set in the old world because the trailer doesn't have any noticeable areas that we've seen in the old world. Now there are places in the old world that we have not seen. Like different spots that are just way too dangerous to be explored and all that, which would be a lot more interesting for the story if it was like, ah, yes, we are exploring this new continent, but also there are places on this continent that we couldn't have gone before because we didn't have this technology that we have now. Anyway, the next sort of thing that ties into the setting is the time period. I would love for it to be set in like the ancient civilization time period. That would be so cool because like I love the Monster Hunter lore. I love it so much. It is so cool. It's so intricate. There's a lot of mystery to it, and just the world building in general in Monster Hunter is phenomenal. But I also think that they're not going to be doing that for the sixth game unless that is what the entire sixth generation is and it's set in the old, like in the ancient civilization era. So it should be so cool. It would be so cool. And like with the different weapon, it would tie in with the different weapon types because like the ancient civilization was way more advanced than what we are now because they got destroyed. But like it just be so cool. Anyway, my nerding out over. Next, I'd like to talk about different monsters slash returning monsters. And when I mean like different monsters, I mean like variations and deviants almost, but I think deviants are different than variant. Whatever. Like with the Gosharag looking animal in the trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds, like what they did with Barioth, they put him in the desert and he was fire. Now, I don't think they're going to have fire Gosharag, but I think they're going to have Gosharag but in a desert. Because that's what they look like to me. That's what those large monsters look like to me. And the fact that they travel in groups, oh, it'd be so cool. Now, depending on what monsters are returning and how they return, could lead into that. Like, it could have a monster, like, let's say, Gosharag, but it doesn't have Gosharag. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have the original creature. Like, if Malzeno were to return, that would have to mean the Quario were returning, so they would probably just put Primal Malzeno in the game, which would be awesome, and to fight him without a wire bug and see what the combat looks like in that regard, it would be really interesting to see. But like within some Monster Hunter games, I don't remember which ones it is specifically, but like Ivory Lagiacrus, pretty sure he's the only Lagiacrus in one of the games. I'm not entirely sure. I could be making that up. I could be lying to you right now. But what I'm saying is like a returning monster in a different form than its original appearance. I said that already. I'm repeating myself. Anyway, returning monsters, it would be so awesome if they could have all the returning monsters, but that would be 223 monsters. I don't think they're gonna do that. Also, different variations of existing monsters that have differing versions of itself. Anyway, back to returning monsters. It would be awesome to see old monsters that haven't been in a game since like Frontier, let's say, and like see so many Frontier monsters in this game, but it would just be so hard to do because of actually no, it wouldn't be hard to do now because they switched over to the RE engine and Monster Hunter uh Monster Hunter Frontier was built on the like in the genre and the age of Monster Hunter DOS. It's a uh, second gen game, which is very interesting to me because it's really well done. But it did continuously get updates until like 2019 or like 2017, I think. So yeah, it's very possible that we could see a lot more monsters from Monster Hunter Frontier return, especially with Espinas coming back in Monster Hunter Rise. That would be awesome to see something like a Rabigaru, the original Glavenus, whatever. It's fine. The original Glavenus, it's fine. Shut up. Abirogu? Abirogu. Let's go with that. The original Glavenus. That monster is just so cool because it's the original Great Sword monster. Um, but yeah, so many monsters from Monster Hunter Frontier, and my favorite monster now, after thinking about it for a very long time, has got to be Disufuroa. That fight is just so good. They have to return. They have to make him return. I know it'd be not tying into the story as well, but like, come on, just have an event quest that's non-canon and just it's just Disufuroa but updated and just so cool. It'd be awesome. It'd just be so cool to see my boy, the one monster that's so cool that it's forgotten. He's just been forgotten through time, except for the people who've played and are still playing Frontier. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Monster Hunter Wilds and what I'd like to see in it. And what would be so cool to see Isukuro, my big boy, my one and only desire. Yeah, anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell so you get notified of all the different videos that I do. And at the time of recording this, I am going to be doing a lot of different things right now. This being one of them. And if you saw that video that I posted the 30th of March, this is one of those experimental videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!